So thank you. Firstly, thank you so much, because I reached out to you when we were exploring. Everyone here was so excited about the opportunity to show this print, but we really weren't sure we would be able to. So indebted to you, and everyone in the room is indebted to you tonight as well. I did want to start with the elephant in the room around the print. It has become so scarce. How does this version, to start with this version before we talk about the film itself, but how does this version sort of exist as sort of folklore within Lucasfilm now?
Oh, it's incredible folklore. I have to say that even when I came into the company, there was endless conversation about where everything was and what was, in fact, the first print. And it's quite remarkable. What you're going to see is, in fact, the first print, and I'm not even sure there's another one quite like it.
Yeah.
You know, it's that rare. There's so much tinkering that's gone on over the years, and things that George decided, I'm going to change this, I'm going to try that, and then everybody kind of lost track of what it was. Although I understand, Edgar, are you in here?
Yeah, he's there.
Because your brother is in here, and I understand you may know far more than I do.
I don't want to intro the
film. Listen, I feel we could get more value out of this room tonight, but we don't have time. We have to screen it again after this. That just adds to the special nature of this evening.
It is. It's quite remarkable to be able to experience this exactly the way it was in 1977. This is really special. Really special.
And then in terms of the film itself, I mean, the universe of Star Wars now has become so expanded, and I do want to say Andor has been fantastic. Such a fan of Andor. And sort of thinking about how the world has expanded now, I also wondered within, as you bring filmmakers into Lucasfilm to think about making films that add to the Star Wars universe, does the film, not the print, but the film itself, does it exist as the sort of the stone tablet? Do filmmakers go back to it?
No, I would say that this is the film that everyone starts with. When we start talking about story, we start talking about George's intent, what it is we're trying to build off of. It is the gold standard. There's no question.
And we'll definitely really experience tonight. I watched about 5 minutes of this print when we were researching for it, and it is interesting how far back in time it takes you, and you really experience the joy of the sets and the practical effects, where you can enjoyably see the edges of some of them as well, enjoyably experience the edges. It revolutionized filmmaking at the time. It revolutionized effects. I wondered what excited you now about the future of cinema and the future of...
Well, I think what George created with ILM, and we did a really wonderful documentary, if you haven't been able to see it, in 6-part series on the beginning of ILM. And it really does capture what was so unique about George's vision with where cinema could go. And that's something that we try to carry on in every single thing we do. I mean, it's a constant conversation. Innovation is something that we know keeps pushing cinema forward. And it's all based on the past, but we're constantly trying to reinvent the future. So,
but still feeling a love for some of the practical effects
constantly.
as well.
It's because I think for many of us that kind of came up through what Stephen and George and many of the pioneers of special effects did, it has everything to do with recognizing what's familiar in what you do. So to just make it completely artificial, it loses its soul. And you have to maintain what is real and then build off of that.
And Star Wars is 50.
Star Wars is 50.
2
Can you
years.
believe? Well, it's just going to be unbelievable.
That is crazy. So
we're already talking about what that celebration is going to be.
Yeah, I'm sure that's quite a plan. What can you tell us now about the future of Star Wars? What's coming up in the next years? And if you want to tell us anything extra special, that would obviously be great. But it's up to you. What can we look forward to? And what excites you about Star Wars at 50?
Well, what excites me now is you know, certainly with the success of Andor, which has really been a 10-year journey, beginning with Rogue One and then building off of that in the series that Tony Gilroy created, has really expanded genres that we can look at and feel that we can tell stories in a galaxy far, far away with many, many different genres. And Jon Favreau, working with Mandalorian, is very different from what Tony was doing with Andor, and that explores the genre of Westerns. And that's what George did. He was constantly looking at film and the way stories build off of genre. And I really think that now we're in a position where it broadens the possibilities of stories and filmmakers that we can bring in to tell stories that mean something to them. It doesn't necessarily have to connect to every little thing that's been done in Star Wars. Yeah. It can actually be a standalone story, like an Andor, like a Rogue One, that then builds into many, many more stories.
So we've got Mandalorian and Grogu next summer?
Yes, next summer. And then we have Sean Levy, who's here prepping right now with Starfighter. So that begins shooting in September, which is one of the reasons I'm here.
Yeah.
And we're very excited about that with Ryan Gosling. And we're just putting together the cast. It's going to be pretty great.
Yeah, great. Anything else you want to tell us about that?
No, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to tell you it is Star Wars.
Oh, it's Star Wars. Okay, breaking news. Okay, can I just say thank you again for allowing us to do this evening?
Welcome.
Can we please give the biggest round of applause? Thank you so much. Okay, enjoy the film, everybody.